Alrighty guys, welcome back. Earlier we were discussing eco-activists who glued themselves to the floor at a German supercar showroom, and now we're going to be diving into a special edition of our oddities of the day. So, I googled Valentine's Day horror stories, and so
I was not expecting. See, I was picturing, you know, happy stories,
no.
unicorns,
Uh-uh.
SpongeBob. No, the
Nope.
headbanger ball come out again in you.
So I found these on Vice. Vice did a thing where viewers could, listeners, readers, whatever, could send in Valentine's Day stories of their experiences. So I pulled a couple from that because I thought they were just pretty bad and pretty funny. So our first one is I woke up next to my Valentine's Day date. She said her husband was on his way home.
Whoa.
I had gone to meet a girl for Valentine's dinner, but there were red flags early on. When I went for a cigarette, she said it better not be drugs, and then she started talking about her husband, which surprised me as I thought she was single. I was very unsure, but we ended up going back to hers anyway. She had an awkward energy when we got back, so I helped us both to a bottle of red wine from the fridge. But when I opened it, the contents went flying everywhere, including all over her very new, very white sofa. She was
Ooh.
absolutely ballistic, screaming, shouting, and demanding I buy her a new sofa. Weirdly, we ended up spending the night together anyway, and I stayed over. But I woke up to the news that her husband was coming home and wasn't best pleased about the sofa. I was freaking out, so I chucked what money I had on the kitchen table and legged it. They're probably both fuming, but thankfully I got out before he got back, so I'll never know. It's from a
Okay.
guy named David from London.
David, you are a sucker already. I'm going to let you know this right now. David had his eye on the prize.
He sure did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He wasn't looking for Valentine's Day chocolate. He was hooking for cookies.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
because okay, if I'm on a date, I'm going out with this lady, and she informs me she says something about her husband.
Mm-hmm.
It's like love, peace, I'm out.
Sorry.
Okay.
Gotta go.
Although I do have a story about someone and their husband. I'll tell you that one after this one. But uh then you get there. The fact that you did not bail out after she talked about her
Yeah.
husband, that showed you didn't care.
No, you can't complain
You
about anything after that.
you were opening up a box of, you were looking at opening up a box of cookie crisp.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying. So so he gets there. He
Mm-hmm.
spills the wine. She goes ballistic on him, and she yells at him, and he still stays the night. That
Yeah.
shows he still has his eye on the prize. He doesn't care that she's
No.
married. None
No.
of this.
No.
Then, first off, brother, the fact that you made it to the promised land, and then you're gonna go ahead and go to nighty night and go to sleep, and she's gonna wake you up like, hey, you need to go. Hubby's on his way. And then
Yeah.
you throw whatever you have on the nightstand or on the table, like, hey, sorry about the couch. Happy Valentine's Day.
Peace.
Deuces. you you're a loser, dog. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
In my
sorry. No.
opinion, in my opinion, he has no room to complain about a bad Valentine's Day story. You continued and chose to go through with that when you knew she was married and you said early on there were red flags on the date. You got no room to complain, man.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a quick story on what I said about this because I
Okay.
want to clear my name. There was a girl. She had a thing for me. She asked me out a couple times, and I said no.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, her persistence, we started going out, a little
Mm-hmm.
bit dating. And every once in a while, I would call, and there'd be a guy there. And I'd be like, who is that? And she's like, oh, that's my brother. He's a roommate. He's my roommate. No problem. I would call there. Hey, is so and so there? The guy would be like, hey, Tate, how's it going? Yeah, here she is. I would go to her house, and sometimes there'd be pictures of them, and they'd be like, who's the guy? They're like, oh, that's my brother, my roommate. He lives here with me. Long story short, one day this girl walks up to me and she's like, you know what, Tate? I thought you were a really nice guy, but you're actually a jerk. And I'm like, what did I do? And she's like, I can't believe you date a married woman. And I'm like, I'm not dating a married woman. I'm dating Renee. And she's like, she's married. Long story short, she was married. That wasn't her roommate. That was her husband. Husband ended up was a long haul truck driver. He thought Renee and I were just buddies, and he was happy that his wife had a friend to hang out with. So he was happy to have me over. He didn't know. I didn't know. I'm talking to this dude on the phone. Hey, dude, how's it going? That was his wife. Once I found out, like I said,
Ooh.
once I found out that they were a married couple, I hit her with the deuces and I was out. I didn't say,
Yikes.
hey, I'm going to go on through with the date and keep on going. You know what I mean? No. Once you find out that she's married, you just got to let it go.
Yeah, I had a similar situation. The guy wasn't married, but he had a girlfriend. His girlfriend was long distance, and we weren't like dating, but like we were like talking to each other like on the
You were in the
verge.
negotiation stage.
Yeah. And this was when I was in high school, and I was a cheerleader and he was a football player. And after one of the games, I was like, oh, it'll be so cute, football player, cheerleader, take a picture together. And I posted it on my Facebook and I tagged him in it. And then I get this message from this girl that's like, hey, I'd appreciate it if you took this picture down of my boyfriend off your Facebook. And I was like, what? And so I messaged him and I was like, so you have a girlfriend? She just messaged me on Facebook, and told me that she was your girlfriend. And then he like tried to turn it on me, saying that there was nothing romantic between us at all, and that he was just talking to me like a friend, which was not true at all. And then I was just like, you know what? Whatever. Enjoy your girlfriend. She ended not breaking up with him. So I don't know what
You'll be
he told her,
surprised. No, you will be surprised what people will put up with
but
and what they will turn a blind eye to.
I did keep the picture on my Facebook because nobody can tell me what I can and cannot do on my Facebook page. So I was petty and I left the picture on my Facebook.
Keeping it petty.
Yep.
Uh, Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's another one. That's a topic. The the dating advice and the kind of dating stories that can get kind of hairy. We're gonna move on because that would be an entire segment on its own.
Okay, so the next one, I flew overseas to get away from my boyfriend, and then he followed me. I had booked a romantic Valentine's getaway to Jersey with my boyfriend, but after a final massive row, I decided our relationship was doomed. I canceled his flight and went on the trip alone. When I arrived, I had another problem, fending off the advances of a persistent medical sales rep at the hotel bar. He was so relentless that on the second evening, I ate dinner in my room to escape him. The next day, on actual Valentine's Day, I was determined to salvage what was left of my romantic getaway, so I went on a solo trip to the zoo.
Whoa, whoa,
That
whoa, whoa,
eve-
whoa. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
yeah,
She said her romantic getaway, but wasn't she leaving didn't she leave her boyfriend behind? Did I miss something?
you can have a romantic getaway by yourself. Treat yourself.
No,
I
you
take
can't.
my I take myself on dates. I take
You
myself
can
on
have,
dates.
but that's not a romantic getaway. When you're going treating yourself to a date, that's just you going to Chipotle. That is not.
That's
There's a
no,
difference.
no, no, no. I take myself to our local Italian restaurant that I really like. I Uber myself there. I buy myself a bottle of wine. I take a book with me. I eat as much pasta as I can. That sounds like an amazing date that I have treated myself to.
That's alone time. Listen, it takes two to tango. Sorry, everyone, getting off the beaten path on this one. That is alone time. That is not a romantic date.
Okay. Agree to disagree. I enjoy taking myself out on dates. Self-love.
Now, you are worth it. You're worth it. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just,
Self-love.
okay.
Self-love.
Self-love. Okay. Gotcha. All right, go back to the story.
The next day, on actual Valentine's Day, I was determined to salvage what was left of my romantic getaway, so I went on a solo trip to the zoo. That evening, a sympathetic couple took pity on me, and I ended up having my romantic meal with total strangers. I had been avoiding my soon-to-be ex calls and messages and instructed the hotel not to connect him to my room, but then I had received a tip-off that he had decided to follow me and was getting a flight out. I flew back immediately and got a call from him when I was home, saying he was at the hotel. He seemed taken aback that I had gone. This was from Kara in Sussex.
Okay. This is a weird one that I have experienced recently.
Recently?
Yes. I have had a lot of visitors since moving to Europe. And I have experienced it on two different occasions where people have flown over and to visit, and they're like, and out of nowhere the girlfriend shows up, like, wait a minute, or the ex-girlfriend shows up, like, you're in Europe, I thought I would surprise you. And it's like, no, I didn't want you to come here. Think about it. If you and your boyfriend split up and you're like, I'm coming to visit my buddy Tate in Europe. And you're hanging out, and next thing you know, your ex shows up in Europe?
No.
Oh no.
I cannot. I'm an independent.
This happened twice.
I'm an independent person, and I always tell people when I date them, I love spending time with you, everything like that, but I'm an independent person, and so I also need time to myself, so I don't get codependent off that person, because I've had issues with being codependent with partners in the past. So I was like, I need to learn how to be alone with myself and take alone time for myself.
I respect that.
Relationships. So anytime I give them a warning, if they get too clingy, I'm like, all right, that's, step back just a little bit. That's pushing my limit. I let them know, and then if they continue to do it, it's done. That's
You know what? There's a lesson in this one, and I think not enough people catch this lesson. This story and what your story that you're talking about, guys, girls, if you really like someone, you have to give them space to breathe. Yes. If they tell you, hey, I'm going to Europe for some alone time, don't come and show up.
No.
Or if a girl wants some free time, some space, don't push on them. No. You need to make time. There should be always time. There should be time that she has her time. There should be time that you have your time, and then you have time together.
Yes.
But those should be that pie should be divided up between those three. It shouldn't all be one just big old pie of us. You need a slice for you, a slice for her, and a light slice for all you guys. Now, you decide you show up in Europe and you're like surprised. I don't even think that's cool. And I don't even think it's cool, even if you're suspecting, like, my girl, she's in Europe because she's cheating on me.
Don't show up unless your partner is like, oh, like, wish you were here. It would be so nice if you were here,
Yes,
miss you.
But, yeah, I agree. Even if you think he's cheating or she's cheating, you shouldn't show up, because the fact of the matter is, if you suspect that someone's cheating, that relationship is over because there's no trust there. And you should get out just because of the fact that you don't have the trust game. If you don't trust that person, whether you find out they're cheating or not, it's already in your head that you don't trust that person. You should let them go. Do you agree? Agree with me or disagree with me on that one?
I absolutely agree.
When in doubt, throw their butts out.
All that aside, guys, I hope everyone has a wonderful Valentine's Day.
Yes.
If you don't have a date, take yourself out on a date. Buy yourself some chocolates, get a nice bottle of wine, find a good rom-com, sit down, enjoy the alone time. If you have somebody, make sure you tell them how much you love them. Bring them some flowers, little stuffed animal, a card. Share the love.
You come up with a story where the guy shows up in Europe without being wanted, and then you go with the Mr. Rogers ending, sticking the landing.
Because the show's almost over, and I don't like ending the show on a bad note.
Even a positive. You know what? I can appreciate that. You said something yesterday when you're talking about ending.
Mm-hmm.
When you're thinking about Valentine's Day, so many people, I'm not saying male, female, whatever, they're about, hey, I expect flowers, I expect this, I expect that. I think you shouldn't expect anything from that other person that you are not willing to do as well. Mm-hmm. So whether it's your guy or your girl and your girl, your guy and your guy, take care of each other. That would be the thing that I would say. Think about what they want more than what you want to get.
Absolutely.
That would be my advice.
Yep.
Dang, we went all Mr. Rogers or
180. Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we're going to close out the show. Thank you for tuning in to the Andrew Tate Show, presented by GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day. Happy Valentine's Day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Happy Valentine's Day. I'm going to do instead of peace, I'm doing the little heart this time. And you little weirdos with your little Gen Z. All
right, guys. See you tomorrow.